Um, I think I can speak for everyone here, how shocked we are that Jim went so fast. And just want to say, Terry, thank you for everything you've done to arrange these services. It's been a beautiful couple of days, and I admire my brother Jim very, very much, and I actually would love to go just like Jim in this beautiful family style. We are sort of creating traditions as we go through losing our first brother. So our first of our 14 and now 13. A lot of my memories were touched upon by my other brothers and sisters, so I will keep it brief. But piggybacking on Yvonne's story about his enthusiasm for my mother's family history, when we discovered that we had this very colorful, very rich history back in Tennessee with these wonderful letters of Lulu's letters that were written, and we put together a family trip. I think it was about 8 or 10 of us. And Jim, again, one of the most enthusiastic family research, just couldn't be more like, we're doing this is so exciting. But it was our first road trip with Jim, and you really get to know people on road trips. And I was traveling with Jim and my dad, and Yvonne and us would switch cars from car to car, and Jim was also a frugal man, as we all know, and on this rural road trip that we were on, we had just arrived in Nashville, driving up to Sneedville, which is about a 3-hour drive through the back roads of beautiful Tennessee. And we'd stop for gas, and of course I always offered and to get gas, and Jim insisted no. He had rented the car and he was going to get gas. Well, I went inside the gas station and picked up some snacks, used the men's room, and came back out and got in the car. And about an hour later, down the road, my dad kind of turns to me and says, "Thank you for the gas." And I'm saying, "What gas? I didn't buy gas." And Jim, of course, just goes, "What?" And he had just assumed, rightfully so, that I would have just picked up the tab, like I often do, and get the gas. But I didn't this time for whatever reason. And so we're an hour down the road, and Jim's just starting to try to figure it all out. And I'm, of course, helping aggravate and dramatize the situation, talking about, well, they've got your driver's license, they've got your license plates now, we're in Tennessee, I got a little banjo music going on in the back of the car, making little siren sounds to kind of like freak him out. And we all enjoy, as you heard in all the stories, seeing Jim kind of come unglued, because he doesn't know how to remedy the situation. And we're driving like 3 hours in the night time into this little town of Sneedville. So obviously, we remedied the situation. We found the phone number of the gas station and called back and took care of it. But it was fun to see Jim kind of in that tense squirm moment. But also, when you go to dinner with Jim, it's just pure agony, as Yvonne and all of us know. Like, he'll just sit there and look at the menu, and it doesn't matter if I'm buying. He just can't stand the fact that something costs $15. And would pride himself on being able to go through like $5 a day, and I can't go out the door without spending $50. And so at a restaurant, he would just be like, "I'll have water and I'll eat these crackers." And Yvonne and I just want to like enjoy and taste all these different items. So my dad, of course, the same way. But when you're in a car with my dad and Jim, and Dad and Jim were very similar in a lot of ways. There's lots of contemplative conversation, very deep, wonderful conversations. And Jim and I always, amazingly, we're almost always in sync and on the same page. And mostly what that common denominator is, and it was about nature and life in general, was that God's marvelous work and a wonder. My dad and I would do Yosemite together. Jim and I, when we traveled, it was all just the marvel of it all and how God works within that realm. And a beautiful song that you had chosen yesterday for Jim's burial that my sister beautifully sang has some of the strongest lyrics, the best lyrics I think ever written, which is, "Now sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee, how great thou art, how great thou art." And I know Jim's soul right now is singing, and we will see Jim again in every sunset and every beautiful place on earth. And thank you. I miss my brother. Sorry.